I'm Colt Stevens from C. Stevens Gunworks. The following video you're going to see is an archive of my earlier work. Some of these earlier videos of mine have some great information that I really wanted to repost and preserve. So I hope you enjoy the content and I hope you learn something from this video. Today we're back with another video about the Century AP5 pistol. This is a clone of the MP5 pistol made by HK, which you can't really buy on the civilian market. They do offer one called the SP5, which is their commercial variant of the MP5. This is Century's take on it, produced by MKE in Turkey. So we'll start with a unboxing here, show you what it comes with. Very nice hard case here with the AP5 logo on the outside. We have 2 magazines. You got one there, 2 there. These are very important because in the MP5 Clone world, these magazines are about $50 to $100 a piece. So it's very important that they send you 2 of those, so you don't have to track more down. They do give you a 2-point sling here. They give you a cleaning kit here, which I'll briefly open for you. Got some goodies there. You have some oil on the top. You have a bristle brush and a rope for the bristle brush. No soft cleaning patches. You'll need to get those separately if you want to use those. Or you can always use something like the Hoppy's Boar Snake. That would be a good choice for something like this. You have the tag from Century to tell you what it is. It's not on the outside of this case. It is on the cardboard box. A lot of the time these don't come with the cardboard box. They only come with this factory hard case. That's important. If you want any documentation that says you bought that serial number from the factory, that little tag is the only thing from Century that still has your serial number for your firearm. You have one of these. This is a lock of some sort. I've not been able to figure out how to use these. I don't see a key anywhere for this, so use that at your own discretion if you think you can figure that out. Chamber indicator there if you're at a range that requires that. They give you an optics mount, which is important here. If you want to put Picatinny style optics on this pistol, you'll need this right here. This by itself, if you wanted a replacement, is about $100 to $150. So don't lose that one, that's very important. And finally, we have the AP5 itself. So I'll go ahead and close the case and we'll go over some features here. This is a very cool gun, let me tell you. This is just about the pinnacle of firearms technology, at least on the commercial market at the moment. MP5 for SWAT teams, some militaries around the world, is really the ultimate in close quarter battle CQB firearms anywhere of any kind. This is chambered in 9mm, so your ammo availability is absolutely everywhere. Just about any store would stock 9mm for you. Very easy to operate. There's really not a whole lot to it. Very modular, especially in the commercial market. You can do a lot to these guns. So we'll get right into it. This is the MKE AP5. So a little bit of backstory on this pistol is MKE is the manufacturer in Turkey. Formerly, if you recognize the name Zenith, Zenith used to import directly from MKE. MKE no longer uses Zenith to import their guns. Now they do it through Century. Century is the exclusive importer of MKE AP5 MP5 clones. The AP5 is Century's designation for this pistol. So now Century being the only source for these AP5 pistols, they do a couple different things. This is just the baseline. They offer this in a K variant, which they call the AP5P pistol. They also offer it in the concealed variant, which doesn't really have a designation originally. If you're familiar with the HK MP5, it's the briefcase model. They consider that the AP5M. The difference on the K model is it's about this long, a little bit shorter. The difference on the M model is it's also this short, but there is no threaded barrel or flash hider or anything like that. There's no ability to attach that. Even more concealed than this one and even more concealed than the K model. So we'll go over the principle of operation of this gun. They call this a 9mm semi-auto roller lock delayed blowback operation. And what that basically means is there are rollers right here on the inside, if you can see it right here. When I pull this back, the rollers unlock, which has a little bit of a delay between you pulling on this and the chamber opening. That's the delay part. The rollers come back, eject the round, strip the next one out of the magazine, and the rollers go back and lock. They rotate and lock. So we'll be able to see that here. This is the lever right here that I'm pulling on. That's how you would charge the firearm. You can see this is now open. You can rotate this lever up and it will lock open, which is very nice. You can now see all the way through the chamber there. It is empty and clear. This design is really unparalleled. It's a very ingenious method of operation, and it's why this firearm is still used today and one of the top of its class, the roller delay operation here. The other thing that's very important for is the delay actually helps if you are doing suppressed shooting. That delay gives you a little bit of time before the gas is exiting through the chamber, and it allows that dwell time to go through the suppressor before it escapes prematurely through the chamber and causes more sound than you would really want. The other cool thing you can do is you can do the infamous HK slap here. So if you do this right here, you see that lets the rollers go forward, and it also unlatches it from the stop right here. And it's also very fun. That's part of the cool factor of this gun, is you can do that. And that really applies to most roller delay firearms. They'll have a type of operation like that that you can do. This barrel is a cold hammer forged 8.9 inch 1 and 9.8 twist rate. That also includes the H&K tri-lug here underneath this device, which you can twist off here very easily. You see the tri-lug right here all the way around. You also have threads right here. You can take this cap off. You have 1/2 by 28 threads underneath there, so anything that is basically your standard 9mm or even 5.56, which I wouldn't recommend. Accessories will work. That's the same 1/2 by 28 thread, but you do need it bored out for 9mm. You can't just plug and play anything that's 1/2 by 28. So you need to be careful with that. You do have this flash hider here that sits on the tri-lug, and it has this little piece right here. If you're not familiar with this piece, this is extremely hard to get off. It takes a little bit of learning to figure out how to get that off. The manual does not mention how to take that off at all. And there it is back on. The only thing you have to do to remove this is just press this piece here, if you can see. Let me get close so you can see, because I had trouble with this originally. Press back on this and twist, and it comes right off. That right there took me a long time to figure out. There it is back on. Whenever you use suppressors for the tri-lug, it's a lot easier. You just kind of press it down, twist, and then it's on. Same thing goes if you want to take it off, press it back in, twist it, takes off. Very simple method of operation there. These flash hiders are a little bit more involved to take off. They're a little bit harder to do. So, moving on, you have a 4-click adjustable rear sight. So this is your rear sight right here. You can push down and twist, and you see that moves. Let's see if I can get it on camera here. So you get a couple of different ones here. And so you get a big one if you want to do any full auto shooting with this. This is not a full auto model. None of the commercial variants are. The actual MP5 is, so they include this same rear sight here. You get 4 different clicks. You get super small, get one bigger, super big, and then your standard peep right there. So they give you some adjustment. You don't have any windage adjustment for this. If you want to do something like that, you're going to need more traditional optics. That's where this rail comes in. Something like that. So you can put a traditional red dot or rifle scope up on this Picatinny rail if you want to get further out there than these iron sights will allow you. So moving on, this has a total weight unloaded of 5.5 pounds, overall length of 17.9 inches, and of course these are 30 round magazines. They do make longer, they do make shorter. This is just the standard one. You can even see on here these are marked 9mm MKE. And if you've never seen one loaded, this is what they look like with the magazine in. Very cool package there. This has 2 ways to take the magazine out. You have a push button here. You can press that and it comes out. You also have a latch right here that you can take out, kind of like an AK, and that comes right out. Past that, we have your selector right here. You can see 0 or 1. And then you have the actual thumb latch here for 0 or 1. And you can press this up or down. You can see that's on safe, that's on fire. The full auto ones work the same way. There's actually a space for 3 different spots there, but it's just blank because there is no full auto or burst or anything like that on this gun. Couple other things, you have spots for slings. This end cap right here has a spot for a sling right there you can attach. You can also attach it right here. You've got a loop right there. We'll talk about accessories very briefly. You can change the fire control packs here. They make binary triggers for this. You get safe 1 and then binary. So binary is pull, you get 1, release, you get 1. Kind of like 2 round bursts, but legally not. Legally it is a strictly semi-auto trigger. Past that, you can take this end cap off. You can put a brace on here. So the most popular one is the HK PDW made by SB Tactical. I don't have an example of that today to show you, but that is a pull-out style. You'll have a little latch on the bottom here. Press that, pulls out. You have 3 positions. It'd be about this long total. That way you'd have something to kind of put against your shoulder if you want. Otherwise, when you're aiming a gun like this, it's kind of like you're holding it out like this to kind of get a proper sight picture. Not super comfortable. It's really made to have a brace or a stock if you want to pay the tax stamp for a gun like this. You really need something like that. Otherwise, it's just kind of awkward to use. And past that, the MSRP on these guns is $19.99. That's recently lowered. They used to be about $2,800. The MSRP was when they first imported these guns. That's really all there is on the Century AP5 apparatus pistol is what they call these. That's all I have for you today. Thanks for watching.